Okay, we're back with another video. You should see the title. It should be something about not giving up, why you shouldn't give up. Basically, just don't quit yet. I know firsthand how it can feel. Wait, before I start talking, wow, you see how quickly I can just talk like that? Let me introduce myself. My name is Ovigwe. This channel is For Confidence Sake, or called For Confidence Sake, because it was for the sake of my confidence. And now, for the last few months, I've been sharing something that I've been learning in the month of each month, I guess. Kind of my diary as a 27-year-old, and this month is all about not giving up. And the reason it's why it's about not giving up is because last month and a few months ago, I felt like giving up. And I feel like it's not talked about enough when you're making consistent effort towards something, you're working so hard, you're working maybe harder than you ever have before, and things just aren't happening. And I think in this day and age where we see in social media that someone, picks up their tripod, picks up their camera, they're on 1 million followers for, well, the birds aren't giving up, if you can hear that in the background, but they're on 1 million followers in 2 months, or they start a business and they've got clientele for until kingdom come in a few months, and it can be really disheartening. And sometimes you can feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not working for me? Maybe this isn't for me. And I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like if you've gravitated towards this video, you either can relate to that right now, or you have been able to relate to that, or you know someone who is able to relate to that. But don't let what your current circumstances stop you from getting to your destination. So why you shouldn't give up is, I heard a quote some time ago, and it was the quote was to not die empty. To give all you have, that's what it means. But when you meet God, when you meet the Creator, that you can go in front of Him and be like, I tried, I did what you said I should do, I went where you said I should go, this is what I have to show for it. And I think that when we give up, what we're saying is, we're not dying empty, we're dying full of what ifs, and what if I just stayed a month longer, what if I just held on to the vision a little bit longer. That in itself is something we don't want to be in, a position that we don't want to be in. And I see those videos, I don't know if you're anything like me, you've watched those videos online of those older people, and they're saying what they give their 25-year-old self-advice. And a lot of people have regret from stopping too early. A lot of people have regret from not applying themselves. Not many people have regrets about what they have done. So in that season, when you feel demoralized and when you feel like my efforts are counting for nothing, know that that's not true. I don't know what your outcome will be. I don't know if the thing that you're trying not to give up on will manifest in the way that you want it to. But I do know that if it's not your time to give up and you do give up, the chances are you will regret it. Or you might never know what it was meant to pan out on. Maybe, my battery's dying. That's not good. I'll be back. Okay. This might be a completely different angle, but hey, we're talking about not giving up, and the time that I'm talking about that, my camera wants to give up on me. Can't make it up. In this channel, I know a lot of people like YouTube videos that are speaking to you as if they're in the place of complete knowing, and they speak with authority, and people love that. People like to hear people telling them, this is why you should stay put. And I can't necessarily do that, but what I can speak from, and what I do speak from, is experience and what I am currently going through. That's all I really know, is my truth, the same way that you only know your truth. And for me, I've talked about it several times on this channel because it's taken up a lot of my life recently, which is starting my own business, which I'm currently seated in, and the trials, oh my gosh, the trials. And I watched a video today that was actually about somebody talking about a similar thing. They had moved to America, and not after a few months after moving to America, COVID hit. And for years, they felt like they had made the biggest mistake of their life, because it was like, I did what I believed was God's will, and I'm suffering really hard for it. Did I do the right thing? And I think that in my journey, same thing, where it's like, God, you told me to do this, to start this business. Maybe for you it's a book, maybe a podcast. You told me to start this. I maybe heard prophecies, or whatever the case may be, or I've always wanted to do this when I was a child. Why is it not working? And maybe the not working is it working. maybe that hardship that you're facing is what's going to take you through another season. Maybe that hardship that you're facing and the wanting to give up is how you're going to teach somebody else or tell somebody else to stay put. Maybe you are meant to give up, but maybe not right now. It's all up to you. It's all for you. But I feel like we owe it to ourselves to do our best. We owe it to ourselves to see things through. And it's funny that when I first started this business, the first thing that God told me was to not give up. And I was like, why in God's earth would I give up? This is me speaking to God. Maybe speak to him in a nicer way. But I was thinking to myself, like, why would I give up? I've just started, not knowing what was coming ahead, not knowing that the months of not seeing any change would make me feel demoralized and down. And what I can say to you is that it's much easier to not give up when you don't focus on what's going wrong. When you focus on the things that are going right, when you focus on your vision, when you focus on the promise, it's easier to stay put. When you are focusing on everything that's not going right, I legit had a dream about this. I had a dream where there was loads of poo on the floor. This sounds so dumb, but I'm telling you, it's a dream. I had a dream where there was loads of poo on the floor, that there was just loads. I was on the grass, like, park, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many poo on the floor, and I was trying to tiptoe around the poo that was on the floor. So dumb. We know how dreams are, so don't judge my dream. And then I heard a voice in the dream saying, focus on the grass. And in the dream, as soon as I focused on the grass, I no longer saw poo. All I saw was grass. And I think that we want to give up sometimes because we're focused on the poo to bring the dream back into it. And if we focus on the promise, the grass. If we focus on our intentions, the grass. If we focus on who we can help, the grass, then the more chances are that you'll see more of that, and then it will help you to stay put. Because it's all good and well that I do videos and say, stick in, don't give up, you've got this, you're almost there. But what are the tools to help you do that? And it's focusing on what's going right. It's focusing on gratitude. Maybe your situation, it feels like to you has nothing to be grateful for, but I'm sure in your life you have something to be grateful for. And the more that we pay our attention to the things that are working out for us, then the things we'll just be able to have that strength to continue. And I also what came to my mind was idol. An idol, I'm Christian, so anything that you hear me talk about, God is going to be involved in it. It's just, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. So, actually, I don't apologise. I take that back. But in an idol is anything you put above the place of God, quite simply, right? So in the olden days, there were golden calves and whatever the case may be. And now on this day, it might be your phone, it might be social media, it might be that business, it might be that idea that you put above God. And that might sound like no, and your first reaction might be to defend yourself. Let me tell you, if somebody told me a few weeks ago, yeah, you've made your business an idol, I would have said, no, I haven't. I prayed about everything, every decision that I made. I haven't made an idol. How's that possible? But now, I was literally in the church the other day and I realised in the waiting, in the not giving up, in waiting for things to get better, I had made my business an idol. I started to think to myself, like, I need this to work because I need this to provide for me. I need this to work because I need to have peace of mind. If this works, I'll have peace of mind. If this works, I'll have provision. If this works, I'll be able to do so much more. And it's like, no. In that not giving up, in that waiting, realise that God is your provider, why he's called Jehovah Jireh. It's not what you're waiting on, it's not what you're not giving up on that is going to give you joy. It's not what's going to give you peace. That's a choice, wherever you are. Being content is a choice wherever you are. Just like the dream, focusing on what your perspective is. So, and also document it. Sorry, this is another thing that came to my mind. I was so embarrassed in the process of waiting, and like, that's another thing that people don't talk about. When you're not giving up and when things aren't working out how they want to, you can almost feel embarrassed and like you don't want to really tell people the truth of how hard it's been and all these other things, and maybe not feeling like you're the only person. But I would really encourage you to document, journal, write what's happening, even when it's hard, even when you have to cry when you're doing it, because even though right now it feels hard and you want to give up, you're going to look back at it and be like, rah, I can't believe it. Same thing I just did. A few weeks ago, I wrote in my journal, this is so hard, I feel like I want to give up. I guess that's what inspired this video. When I read that, one of the things that inspired it. And I looked at the mindset that I was in, the mind state that I was in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so down. I was so down. And I look at it now and I'm like, things have turned around. I'm a lot more grateful, I'm a lot more happy, I'm a lot more content, just in a matter of weeks. And if I didn't write that, then I wouldn't have been able to look back at it. And I realised that I wish I kind of documented those small wins along the way and looked at like, oh, you've got one client. Wow, that's one more than zero, you know, and not being embarrassed about that. So to summarize it and to maybe put everything that I said into a digestible format is, don't give up because you owe it to yourself not to. You don't know what you're going to go. You don't know what staying is going to do for you. Don't give up because you need to be like attached to that promise, but don't make it an idol. Like, you need to see it through, but don't make it an idol. How not to give up? Be grateful, focus on what's going right, and I'm sure that everything will work itself out how it's meant to. But in everything, take it to God, pray about it, because the truth of it is, some people, I said again in that video that I watched today, the guy said that some things are a valley. Some places that we get into life are a valley, they're a dip. Things will get better after we go from that valley, and some places are a cul-de-sac, meaning an ending, just a dead end. Only you can decipher that through speaking and praying to God, you know? And when he tells you something, don't think, if it is time for you to give up, cut your losses. You'll get back what you need to eventually. Don't think because you've been holding on to something for 10 years, you've invested so much money that you need to hold on to it. No, I want to tell you to trust that there's more coming, that things will work out how they're meant to. So that's my video, I guess. Don't give up because it might not be time, but if it is time, trust that more and better will come to you. Thank you for watching. If this video wasn't for you, then maybe send it to somebody who you think it was for you, and I really appreciate you if you stuck it all this way through. What did I say? Like, comment, subscribe. What are you not giving up on, or what do you hope that you will learn from the season and not giving up? Let me know. I would love to know. I will engage with you in the comments, of course. And I've been doing a diary, like I said at the start, every month since I've been 27. So if you're interested in my thoughts and what I'm currently experiencing, then you might definitely want to follow this channel, and I'll see you in another video soon. Take care.